In a world grappling with polarization and instability, the role of business families has never been more crucial. And so the theme of our 10th anniversary conference, from succession planning to legacy building, prompts us to go beyond thinking just about the next generation to thinking about generations.
10 years on, I'm very pleased to see that the Institute has not only stayed focused on its mission and philosophy of working with business families and for business families, but also developed a wonderful and vast network of business families, family offices, academic and industry partners, government and trade agencies in over 30 countries across Asia, Oceania, Middle East, Europe, and the Americas.
We have a vision of family entrepreneurship that goes beyond just business success, which includes values, societal impact, and of course, leaving a legacy as well.
So the challenge of every next gen of a business family is you have to invigorate it, you have to change, you have to innovate, as I see is one of your discussion points today. You have to transform it so that the legacy you leave is not just a pure legacy, it's a transformation of a legacy to meet the needs of a new environment. So the best families you have lawyers, you have doctors, artists, dancers, people who are not at all interested, but because they know they are owners of a family business, they understand fundamental balance sheets, they understand what is strategy, they understand that fundamentally the entire clan of people who own a company provide the bulk work, the strategy, the future, the cohesion of a family business. And in order to do that, you have to know the kinds of skill sets required to be an owner of a company. Whereas too often we teach people how to manage, but not how to be a non-manager, but a good owner. There is sibling jealousies, there are sibling rivalries. Parents must confront these issues head on, way before they leave the scene. And siblings must have the opportunity themselves to confront these issues without the parents being present, but with the parents still being alive to help to mediate some of these issues.
I see the ecosystem coming together to make business families responsible and responsive owners.
Globalization have helped us to partner with other companies. Sometimes people said it's competitor, but for us, it's opportunity to, we might not have the full suites of technology, but with partnership, I think we can grow a lot more and pretty much serve the economy a lot more.
I think the biggest problem with some of the businesses, which are conglomerates, is to bring the different businesses together in a way that really drives synergy and drive more value than individual businesses on a standalone basis.
I think the issue is stagflation. I think many of us are worried about that. Higher interest rates not going down because of sticky inflation and slowing growth. And how do you manage that as a corporation? And yet, understanding that technology would displace a lot of jobs within even our own companies.
I see the role of family office as a replacement for family businesses itself. But the concept of family office I have in mind is not just for asset management. It actually should incorporate more things.
And how do you organize the family office to achieve the motivation, the vision, and the mission?
Of course, the investment office must know how to run and get a proper alpha on its return, but it should be able to generate not just the returns, but the KPIs that mean something to the family. And in this case, the number of jobs, the jobs that are being created, the jobs that are being preserved.
Might start with that wealth management piece or the family piece. So these two pieces might be initially very important for you, and then you sort of evolve. And the real test, as we heard from David, comes during that transition?
Management must be professional. It could be family members, but they must be able to step into that shoes. If not, it's better to corporatize. Okay, you keep family shareholding separate from management.
How do they see their role as second gen, and what are the issues, what are the problems perhaps, or the opportunities?
It resonated with me so much because it was able to explain to me sustainability in a systemic way, how you can bring in a balance between the social factor, the environmental factor, and of course the economic factor. That needs, then for any initiative to be sustainable, it has to somewhat lead to profitability, right?
You know, being tenacious about what you are doing, but at the same time, you know, so you kind of you can leverage on the family business in the sense you have some sort of support from the family business, but at the same time you still need to balance that. And that's why I chose to develop something that was complementary to the main business.
I think, you know, we go back to first principles. I think fundamentally there's always been trust and alignment. And, you know, whenever, you know, my dad has leaned in, you know, I've been able to take a step back and really see that, you know, what he said has made sense. At the same time, you know, he's trusted me on a lot of things that I've wanted to do, and has given me the room to be able to do that.
You know, looking at investments, but accepting a lower return, but actually still being mindful about returns, but not completely in the financial sense. So looking at social returns as well, and that's a bit harder to quantify. But you know, recognizing that there is some value there.
When we started this journey on social impact, we really thought very much about philanthropy specifically. It was very much about philanthropy, and of course with philanthropy it's the highest risk capital, right, possibly that you can leverage. So it was all about how can we go into the geographies and really just do everything entirely non-for-profit.
And we try to encourage social enterprise, helping social enterprise in Singapore. And so hard to quantify, but when you see it, and I'm with James and you know, at this point, it is a long-term thing. Families can do it, but if you are a bigger organization with committees and KPI, very hard.
The numbers are never going to add up. The only way we're going to bridge, maybe have a chance to bridge a gap, is to leverage human creativity, imagination, right, and just a go-for-it attitude, right, and that's where we, as the high net worth community, by making this really high risk capital available, is going to help to make that difference.